Hey guys, we're here today with Andy Renaux from Inspection Pro, our go-to home inspector. He's been in the state of Virginia for over 20 years. He's done home inspections for 15. He's inspected over 7,500 properties, all to include townhomes, condos, and single-family properties. Is that correct, Andy?
That's right.
Awesome. He's also licensed and insured in Virginia, and he keeps up on his yearly certifications and classroom hours, which we appreciate because building code changes every 3 years, as we learned in an earlier video with you.
That's right.
Awesome. So today's topic is going to be water management solutions. And it seems to be one of the biggest problems that we see come up on most properties. Is that correct?
Pretty much every property. That's right.
Is there a common theme that you see in the many houses that you inspect?
Well, proper drainage, the roof, the gutters, and the downspouts working together to evacuate water away from the foundation is the single most important equation on the house. So from the moment that I pull into the driveway until when I'm leaving, this is one of the biggest things on the outside that I am looking at.
And what are some things that you notice about it? Like, is the water sitting around the home? Is it flowing away?
Absolutely. Getting the water to the downspout extension isn't quite good enough. You also need the grade around the house to finish carrying that water away from the foundation. So if we're dumping a downspout into a negative grade up against the foundation, clearly this isn't going to do us much good.
What are some good water management solutions that folks can do to avoid damage done to the property from water flow?
First and foremost is make sure that the gutters are clean and flowing properly. If you have trees the same height as the gutters within 100 feet, it's a good idea to have a good high quality gutter guard, making sure that those gutters are graded properly. And one of the finer points of doing gutter is making sure that all downspouts are graded away from the house as opposed to toward the house, which this is a very common mistake that I see. Once we get the water from the gutter into the downspout, when we get to the ground, we want to have an extension on that downspout to get water away from the foundation. If you've ever stood at the beach with waves lapping at your feet, when the waves go out, you feel it pull that sand from under your feet. This is exactly what unextended water flow from downspouts does to house footers, deck piers, things like that.
Good to know information. Do you also watch how, like maybe a neighbor's property water management is flowing onto the property that you're inspecting?
Absolutely. I've had several houses where what my client's prospective house has drainage is in very good shape, but still having water issues because their neighbor, who is at a higher elevation, has all that water that they're controlling now getting to my client's house. The average footprint for a house in the U.S. is 1,500 square feet. 1 inch of rain, which will fall in less than an hour here in Virginia, over that 1,500 square feet is almost 1,000 gallons.
Wow.
So we're talking about a hot tub's worth of water that we have to get rid of potentially every 45 minutes during heavy rains.
Wow. That's a really good metaphor. Thanks for that illustration.
Yes, ma'am.
So also, in addition to your downspouts, your gutters, and water management of the property itself, making sure the elevation, or I'm probably not saying it right, the way that the yard is graded is also probably something to pay attention to?
Absolutely. I actually had this issue with the house that I bought. I have a relatively steep hill in front of my house where it flattens out for around 8 foot before it gets to the foundation. During heavy storms, I would get a little bit of water in the front wall of my basement. So what I did was I dug a small French drain. It's the width of a shovel, about 2 inches deep at the beginning. The trench is about 20 foot long. At the end, it's probably about 6 inches deep. So now water coming down the hill hits this drain, and it's graded properly to move the water around the house. Then it goes down a hill. I've not had a single drop of water in the basement since I, for free, dug this little trench.
Would you say that's a pretty common solution for water management?
Absolutely.
Awesome. What does a French drain look like?
So what you want to do with a French drain is, again, making sure that it's graded properly to where we are collecting water, to where we are getting rid of the water, the termination point of the French drain. And then you want to put in a layer of silt fencing, which prevents sand from getting in and clogging it up. And then we backfill that with gravel so that the water can easily get into this French drain that we've built, and then go from the front to the back. And we want to pay attention to where we are stopping the French drain, because everything south of that is going to end up more moist because we're transferring a lot of water that found in one space to another space.
Is gravel often used to help with the flow of water in construction that you're familiar with?
It drains extremely well, so it is very commonly used in any kind of French drain. It allows water to get into the drain that you dug, but it also prevents the drain from collapsing in on itself.
Nice, awesome. Well, thank you for that tip. Would you say there's anything else that you would add to this as far as water management?
Making sure that you have caps on your chimney. Very common to see rainwater that has gotten down a chimney flue and onto the wood or onto the gas fireplace. Making sure the flashings around the house, like around the chimney, and we have multiple roof angles meeting together, making sure all that is in good shape. Think of your roof shingles as the umbrella underneath which all your cool stuff is. We want to make sure we don't have any extra holes in this umbrella. I've personally never bought an umbrella that had pre-punched holes in it.
I can say I've never either, have you? So thank you for your input on water management solutions, Andy. We really appreciate it. And
It's my pleasure.
we appreciate you staying tuned with us as we continue this interview series with Andy Renaux with Inspection Pro. Thanks so much.